What is up, boys? Back again with another video for you all, and let's get straight into it. The topic of this video is gonna be your ruh versus your nafs. And ruh versus your nafs is basically your animal self, your part of you that wants to follow desires, what wants to follow instant gratification, versus your higher self, the one that yearns for that connection with God, right? Basically, you want to follow your ruh versus your naf, who just wants to follow your lowly desires, the temptations, who wants to stay in bed and beat their meat. And I wanted to record this video because this is really powerful, because a big part of self-improvement is basically your instant gratification self versus your delayed gratification self. Which one will you sacrifice? Will you do the hard work for a better future, or will you do the bad habit that will lead you to becoming a worse person? So which one do you want to do? Do you want to improve yourself, or do you want to, do the easy thing, the comforting thing, and be your worst self tomorrow? Basically, right? And basically understanding this, right? When I found out about this, it's really crazy in my mind, because I always knew that I have two parts to myself. The monkey mind, the one that tells you to do bad things, that tells you to do the easy things, the one that wants you to stay in bed, the one that wants you to doom scroll instead of doing what you're supposed to do, right? We all know we have that innate feeling, right? We all have that innate feeling. We all have that feeling to be noble, or to be like a traitor. Like, for example, if we have like a chance to betray our friend to make us more famous, your ruh is gonna tell you to be noble and don't do that, right? Even just stand up for your friend, right? Because you have values. Or you can listen to your nafs, like, oh yeah, let's throw him under the bus so we can get famous. That's basically how the mind works. You're always in war with your nafs, right? People always think like jihad. Jihad basically is the fighting for the struggle, or struggling for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. The best jihad is against yourself. People say go out and go in war, become a terrorist. This word is very, very villainized, right? But the best jihad is the one you fight against yourself. Every single day you get up, you are in war with yourself, in war with the devil, right? Because as in Fight Club, we had no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war against the devil and everything around us. Materialism, secularism, all around us, right? We had no great war, no great depression. Our great depression is our lives, right? So what do I mean by this? So I'm gonna make a different video for this, but I'm just gonna briefly talk upon it. The way to get out of the matrix, people always say, is like materialism, this and that, you gotta get rich, right? But the true way to get out of the matrix, this dunya, this worldly life, to find true fulfillment, true happiness, is only through God. Them say, oh, this guy's cliche, oh, only broke people say that. You can go out and say that, bro. But basically, you can look at the studies, you can look at rich people, billionaires. They're still rich, but, they still yearn for that feeling for their creator, right? Because the creator created you, and you will not feel fulfilled and you will not feel happy with your life unless you connect back with him. But that was a side tangent there. But basically, let me get straight back into it. Your ruh versus your nafs. Your higher self, your divine yearning self, versus your animalistic self. You know what? If we be honest here, if we actually follow our nafs, this is what happens, right? I wake up in the morning, right? And then I just stay in bed all day, right? And then what's it called? I just scroll. And then I commit the haram habit. Commit it. Right? But here, let me basically let me explain it in a different way. In what's it called? Hunter-gatherer way versus a man who follow his nafs over his ruh, right? Basically, he gets up in the morning, you know, the guy that follow his nafs, he gets up in the morning and then he goes out and hunts, and then he sees an attractive female, a stranger, right? And he goes out and you know, he rapes her. Versus a person who gets up in the morning and then he follow his ruh. He's an honorable man, you know, he's an honorable man. He gets up in the morning to a loving family. And then he goes out and hunts, and then he sees the stranger. And then what does he do? He asks if they're okay instead of raping her. Why? Because he followed the nobility of himself, basically his ruh. We all have an innate feeling of what morality is, right? But we choose to deny, because there's a quote in the Bible. The Bible says that there is no one, right? I don't know if this is in the Bible. You can double check this if you want, my bad. But basically, I heard this from the Bible, that's why. So basically, there is no one as blind as those who refuse to see, right? So if you refuse to see it, you know, we have that innate feeling, that morality inside of us to tell what is right and what's wrong. And if you refuse to see it, what's going to end up happening is that you're not going to have the fulfillment that you're looking for in life. You know, we look for happiness. You know, I've been in that position where I was looking for happiness. You know, I chased happiness every day, day-to-day basis. I chased happiness. Oh, what is happiness? Oh, I would DM a girl looking for a girlfriend. I would, you know, commit haram just so I could be happy. And in chasing happiness, what happened? I became less happy. And until you realize and accept this, you will never find true fulfillment. If you keep listening to your nafs, your lower self, your self that always listens to temptations, we must wake up, right? We must wake up and realize that, you know, these times are peaceful, right? These times are peaceful. There's nothing going on here, you know. Life is good. Food is good. House good. You know, everything's good. But you must see through the real world, bro. Like, you may think I'm crazy, but you must see through the real world, bro. There's a spiritual war going on, bro. The devil is winning. Everyone, you know, there's a sociology thing. Like, if you see other people do something, or if you see other people act a certain way, you as a person, as a human being, is most likely to act like them. Why? It's because it's in your biology. You will listen to your nafs. So if I listen to my nafs, I will stop being Muslim. I will not be religious. I will be an atheist. Because everyone around me is an atheist. I would go out and party, go out and drink, go out and hook up. But no, there must be a time where you, as a man, stand up for your values. Stand up for who you are. Because if you, what is the word called? If you sacrifice who you are, your authenticity, for pleasing others, you will die another copy. You know, you may think that this is cliche, but you were born an original. So don't die a copy. You can either be a sheep or you can either be a shepherd. Sometimes the shepherd, there's no sheep with him, right? He's just walking by himself, looking for some sheep. Or you can be the sheep who just follows the crowd. And don't be like that, because another quote is, if you follow the rest of the world, it will only lead you to hell. Atheism is only going to get more and more and more popular. So it's only going to get harder and harder. So we must turn up. You know, think about yourself. Think about yourself, right? Think about yourself. Think of yourself as a speaker. Basically, look at this car. Look at my car right now. So basically, think of it as a speaker. Basically, right here, you see this right here? We're turning up our ruh, right? We're turning up our ruh. ourself of us that is noble, that is hardworking, and then we're turning down. We're turning down our part of us, our nafs, that is not a good person, that only listens to temptations, that doesn't listen to God, that it isn't noble. We're turning that down, bro. And we're turning up ourselves, the part of us that is closer to God, that is more noble, a better person. You know, if you've been following self-improvement, then you're gonna know a YouTuber named Hamza, and he talks about Adonis versus Jeffrey. That is basically just ruh versus your nafs. Jeffrey is a person who gives up or gives into his temptations and follows his nafs, his lower self, versus Adonis, who follows his ruh. He does the delayed gratification. So we have a choice, guys. We have a choice. Do not victimize yourself and say we do not have a choice. Oh, life is hard. This is that. You know, I had a hard life. You know, I don't know what you've been through, but we all have a choice to follow our ruh versus our nafs. And our future depends on it. So if you want to become a good man and you want a good future, delay the gratification. Follow God's orders, his commands. Because at the end of the day, bro, these people do not matter to us. We were born alone. We formed in our mother's womb alone. We came into this world alone. We will die alone. We will be buried alone. And we will be resurrected alone. So what is it with you and what other people may think of you? If you go out and you feel nervous and you know, sacrifice something just to be closer with this dunya or to get closer with other people, and sacrificing your relationship with God or you following your nafs, just know that all of this do not matter. This life is just a test. This life is just a test. Every single thing in this life is just a test. So the way we can gain confidence, we can gain iman, our faith, our consciousness with God, is to do the right things. Because if we do the right things, we will feel confident because we know that Allah is with the believers. Alright? So we must stay true and we must stay connected to our ruh, our higher self. Because if we keep living a life full of following the temptations and our nafs, that monkey mind inside of your mind telling you do the bad habits, we will end up in a bad position. I hope this video really motivated you, because when I discovered this, it really motivated me and made me think. Because like I always listen to Hamza the YouTuber, and he always talk about how Adonis and Jeffrey, and basically that's just ruh versus your nafs. We have two people inside of us. Not two people, but like we have two parts inside of us. The part that goes out and follows their temptations, their desires, doesn't care about God, doesn't care about other people, only cares about himself, his own desires, versus a person who realizes what is good, who realizes that delayed gratification will lead him to a better life, who realizes that being kind to other people will lead to a better life. We must stay strong and remain steadfast, because indeed Allah is with the patient. That's enough for me. Improve your life and be the best boss man you can be. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.